A lot of people tell me that they can't come up with ideas and they think they have some sort of creativity problem, but you don't. Anyone can be creative. The real problem is taste. If you sit down to make something and nothing comes, it isn't because you ran out of original thoughts, it's because you outsourced your own reactions so long that everything you make becomes borrowed. As a creative director, this is my entire job, taking the work that looks like everyone else's and turning it into art that people copy. Like how we took Sane from losing followers and posting directionless content into making the next carousel trend. So today I'm going to show you why your ideas feel borrowed, what taste actually is and how to build it by pulling references the right way, and how to turn that into more ideas than you'll ever know what to do with. So let's start off with why you're stuck, because the reason is kind of brutal. For the first time ever in human history, you have machines that will think for you. So there's zero friction to offload the muscle that lets you sit long enough to reach your own conclusions. So start watching what you actually do. For example, before you go see a movie, you check the Rotten Tomatoes score, and while that may feel responsible and like you don't want to waste your money, by the time you've gotten to the theater, you've already kind of decided how you're going to feel about the movie. You've borrowed some stranger's reaction before you've ever had your own. And we treat everything like this now because of social media. And when every opinion you have is handed to you, no wonder you can't come up with anything. You've been outsourcing the exact part of you where the ideas come from. And this is directly tied to a concept called mimetic desire, which states that we don't want things on our own, but instead want what we see other people wanting. We don't know what we believe until we see what everyone else believes and then convince ourselves that we thought of it first. There's a difference between borrowing a conclusion and pulling a reference. Borrowing a conclusion is taking someone's finished opinion or finished video and wearing it as your own. It's what can make this work feel hollow. It's just copying with more steps. Pulling a reference is the opposite. You take the thing that made you feel something, and instead of stealing the output, you dig into the input. You ask yourself, why does this work, in pursuit of finding what's underneath it. You then run that principle through your own taste and your own context, and what comes out the other side is yours. Because every good idea you've ever seen and loved was something of recombination. Nobody invents something from nothing. Originality was never the reference, it's just the taste that you filter it through. So you don't actually need more ideas, you just need taste sharp enough that the references you pull come out the other side and look like no one else's but yours. So what even is taste? It's not something you were born with or without, it's just a collection of decisions that you can defend. Composition, color, type, aesthetics, all of it. And within taste, there is no good or bad. Even something that looks shitty can be in good taste. For example, in a video that I shot a while back, I took a clip on my phone and it just looked absolutely awful. So instead of hiding that and reshooting like I probably should have, I just leaned into it and turned it into this sick VHS thing. And it became the coolest shot in the piece, and my taste was displayed in the decision to commit to that. So obviously having good taste is good in theory, but how do you build your own? Well, step one is fixing your inputs. And like everything, it starts with your input. And I know everyone is saying this, but they're saying it for a reason. Doom scrolling is killing your taste in real time. If you passively absorb slop all day, slop becomes what you like. And then slop is all that you can make. So either consume intentionally or don't consume at all. When I was building my taste, I just deleted Instagram and ripped Pinterest for like weeks. I would just sit through all my college classes, saving cool stuff and building fun boards. I figured out exactly what I liked in fashion, room decor, everything. And after replacing the time that I would have spent scrolling with pulling references, I had a library of things that felt like me. So as is step two, I went back and asked myself why I like them. Like building an aesthetic board is great, but almost no one goes back through it. Everyone saves stuff, but no one goes back and asks why they saved it. So for every single thing you pull, ask yourself 3 questions. 1, why do people like this? 2, do I like it and why? And 3, what does it make me feel or think? Journal on it if you have to. I've been known to save reels and journal on them to really understand why I made that decision. Because saving is never the point, it's understanding why you saved it. And once you do that, 2 things happen. Firstly, your feed gets curated based on what you love instead of what everyone else likes. And secondly, you become able to back up every single choice that you make, which matters because that's also how you find out if your taste is good. If someone questions a choice you made and you can stand on it and explain exactly why it's there, your taste is real, and if you fold, you were just guessing. And then step 3 is to sit in silence. Now, after fixing your consumption and developing your likes and your why, sit. This is the part most people ignore because it's uncomfortable nowadays. And sitting down for 45 minutes without any extra inputs is really difficult. But what this trains your brain to do is, instead of having instant emotional reactions to things, you learn to ponder and tie your emotion to taste. It allows the obvious opinions to burn off and the real ideas show up underneath once the noise finally runs out. And then finally, step 4 is to recombine. So once you've sat and have these real ideas, that's when you recombine. Take what you pulled, run it through the taste you built, and build the thing. The biggest disclaimer here is that it does not have to be perfect. My clients freeze because they want it to be perfect. Because what even is perfect? Isn't art subjective? There are parameters for something technically good, but perfect is impossible. The only thing worse than being bad is never starting and wishing you had. And when your taste is concrete, it permeates through all of your decisions passively, making the brand feel more cohesive. The scripts, the shots, the edit, the font, the color. That's how I've gotten it to a point where people can watch something and notice it's a Jackson Sword video before before I've ever said a word. The idea stopped being a thing I hunt for and became a byproduct of knowing what I actually like. And then you'll know it's landing by how people react, because no one comments on mediocre stuff. They either think it's dumb enough to make fun of it, or cool enough that they have to tell you. And then when people who are known to have good taste start liking and following you, that's a signal. You're niche enough to feel personal and good enough that people agree. So you're never out of ideas, you just never built a taste that made them tangibly executionable. Fix your inputs, pull references instead of borrowed conclusions, go back and ask why, sit with it long enough to have your own reaction, then run it all through you. And just be making stuff for yourself first, an audience of one. Then you can show it to your cool friends, because their reactions stacked on top of yours build something neither of you could have reached alone. But it has to start alone. That's the point.